Good evening, tubers. White Mexican back in with another Market Watch Investments video. First card that we're going to start to begin this video is going to be Psychokinesis, which is an ultimate rare dawning out of a very infamous set, Crossroads of Chaos. This was a really particular set because this was a set that donned us Black Rose Dragon as an ultimate rare and a secret rare, which is just a huge fanboy card in general. So this is the ultimate rare print, highest rarity that we have. Not really a playable card. I don't really see it seeing much playability in the game state, but it is an amazing. It's got cool artwork, and it's a really old school ultimate rare here. Unlimited's starting price point is about 4 bones, and there's only 3 pages on the market. All of these are 1 stacks. There's actually one fat stack of 7 here. See if we can hunt down some first editions. No first editions on the first 2 pages, and get our first editions on the 3rd and final page. And the starting price, see, this is always why I recommend first edition, because the price fluctuation between unlimited and first edition is just insane. It jumps all the way up to 20 bones for the first lightly played copy of the ultimate rares, and then it bottoms out at a whopping 50 bones. With Cardboard Mart donning a set of 3. So interesting market trending on that. The next review is going to be Tribute to the Doom. This is the original super rare donning from a very nostalgic Generation 1 set. Metal Raiders we're talking about. This was the 2nd core set in all of the TCG. Extremely ancient, and there's just amazing history behind this card, and really cool artwork too. This definitely well on its way, if already is, in the collector's market. Again, only specifically for the first editions. You see there's plethora of unlimiteds all across the board, and they're just pennies on the dollar. They're really not anything significant, but it's when we get to the first edition prints we start seeing some really nice value fluctuations. First edition, as a lightly played, is going to be about 6 bones, and then quickly there's 2 here for 6, and then trickles up all the way to 14. There's 6 pages on the market for this, and then it quickly goes up to 19, 25, 27, and then pretty much 30, 45. So for the near mints, more in particular, you're having some insane exponential growth in value for this card. Really cool about this, being the original print and being so old too, it also has the original magic stamp on the card over the spell stamp, which is really cool. Next is going to be Nobleman of Crossout. I don't know if there is something going on with this card, if there's some new combo or some kind of new playability. Again, this is another Generation 1 old school super rare original print donning from Pharaoh's Servant. There is a Hobby League Parallel Ultra, which looks very, very nice, but this just being the original print, of course, it has the magic stamp here. Really great history behind that, great collectability behind that as well. And this card is going for about... starting market value is going to be about 4 bones for unlimited, and you can see they're all pretty much 1 stack, except for this 2 of. There is 5 pages on the market, and it quickly goes up, even for the unlimited. It's pretty insane. I actually just sold one of these a couple days ago. I think it was for like roughly around 5 bones or so. Continuing on here, we still don't see a first edition until the 2nd to last page here, which is going to be a starting price of 14, and then it quickly jumps up to 20 after that, and then goes almost to 40. So this, again, is just another great nostalgic Generation 1 card, old school super rare. Back in the day, this was really prevalent. Flip effects, outside of Shadal's, and Shadal's is like one of the only really like big meta cards that meta decks that I can think of right now that is really flip effect predominant. Maybe Subterror as well. Subterror Control is also another relatively relative deck as well. So but back in the day, flip effects were huge. They were really, really predominant, really popular, and this card was really, really great. So this is already, as you can see, well on its way into the collector's market, and it's holding some pretty great value. So especially for those near mint first editions, you have some really good cash flow there. Next is going to be Ancient Sacred Wyvern. There is an ultimate rare print of this card. There is the standard ultra rare from Ancient Prophecy, the original set that it came out of, and then also there is a secret rare print donning from Legendary Collection 5Ds. I'm going to go ahead and review the lowest rarity, well, one of the lowest rarities here. I don't know if this got a common reprint or not, but even just the lowest rarity as an standard Ultra, it's holding a pretty interesting price point of around 6, and goes up to about 8 when you get to the near mints, and the first edition here is about 8. There's only 3 pages here on the market for that. Again, there is an ultra rare version print of this, which is, I don't remember the price point of that, but it's very nice. I think it's up to about 20 plus, if I'm not mistaken. But really great artwork on this. Pretty interesting effect. Its effect is depends on kind of what's going on with the game state, and it's just one of those older synchro cards. It's kind of just long forgotten. No one really talks about it anymore. But I think it's a relatively fantastic card, and it does have really awesome prints like this secret rare, which is going for about 9-ish bones starting, and they're all pretty much first edition across the board. Then jumps all the way up to about 20, and there is only 1 page of the secret rare version. And then of course, if you guys want to check out, want to go top dollar, there is an ultimate rare version as well. Next is going to be Elemental Hero Divine Neos. This is a solo print secret rare, again from the infamous Crossroads of Chaos of lately. I don't know why, I've just happened to be showcasing a lot of cards from this set, and this is just kind of one of those random solo print hero cards at a high rarity of secret rare from a really infamous set being Seesock, and this is holding pretty good value alone. Lightly played unlimiteds are about 10 bones, and there's only 2 pages on the market, so that's maybe why it's holding such good value. That, and of course it also being a solo print. Interesting enough though, it's insane. It's about 10 bones for unlimited, and then when we get our first copy of first edition, it goes all the way up to a whopping 300 bones. So and then it bottoms out here at the bottom of the market at over $1,300. So again, I can never put enough emphasis on investing in first edition. First edition is always going to give you an exponential amount of growth of value in your investments. This is just like perfect. Like here you can just see it. This is obviously because this is really old. It's a high rarity. It's a hero card. Hero players are crazy, and this is a solo print, so there's just really not a lot of availability in general. But this is a perfect prime example right here of why first edition is always going to be king in this game. Just dominates utterly the collector's market indefinitely. Next is going to be one of my all-time favorite synchro cards, Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. Of course, there is the amazing, gorgeous ultimate rare, which is, you know, has a pretty good price point even for the unlimiteds. But I wanted to talk more specifically about the secret rares here. I would not discredit these. Spirit Warriors is not an old set by any means, but it's also you know, it's about a couple years now. I think it's about 2 years old now or so. So I mean, it's not, you know, terribly ancient by any means, but it's definitely kind of out of print to a certain extent. And this is still a really affordable price point for this card for what it is, being a high rarity of being secret rare, and Shien being for what it is. 6 Samurai is not really rose back to predominance. I mean, it's had a couple new support cards over the several years, like way back in the day, you know, when Gateway and Shien was at 3 and all that crazy shenanigans. There was a big samurai format, which was really, really fun. But I love samurais. You know, I like to build different versions of samurais. I've always really liked samurais a lot, and I think it's safe to say that there's a pretty big fanboy player base out there that likes samurais. So it's just a cool deck. It's a fun deck to play a lot. So it's about, you know, a little over 2 bones for copies of these secret rares, and then jumps to about 3 plus, and then there's 5 plus pages of that. So these were like $1 for the longest time. When Spirit Warriors first dropped, I invested in several of these for $1, just because this is, in my opinion, it's the best level 5 synchro we've ever had. It's great. I don't remember if Catastor is a level 5 or not. That's another one that's really good generic. Well, this isn't generic, but anyway, I wanted to talk really briefly about the just the standard ultra rare from the original print, Storm of Ragnarok. And these are about 5 bones, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, roughly around 5 bones for unlimiteds, and then still about 5 bones for first editions, which I think is incredibly cheap for what this is. Obviously, you're gonna want to go for first editions. This has really great artwork, and again, this has like one of the most like standard, just great synchro effects ever. I really, probably just a little biased because I really like Samurais a lot. But of course, also there is the Ultimate Rare as well, which is, you know, it has a fat price point, and it always does because, you know, it's Ultimate, and Storm Ragnarok is pretty ancient now, and it's just a great card in general. Next is going to be Don Zaluk. So I guess this is a GOAT card, or I'm not really sure what's going on with this, but all across the board, this card is holding some pretty good value. It's about, you know, 6.8 for the Speed Duel Ultra Rare Pharaonic Guardian. The OG print is what I want to review here specifically. This was a really great set. I'm a really big fan of Pharaonic Guardian. We got Gravekeepers donned out of this set, and this was just, you know, a great Generation 1 super nostalgic set here. There used to be a deck that used to play like with 3 of these, 3 Spirit Reaper, and like drop-offs, and, you know, like Yada, and it was just a hand destruction deck, and it was really fun, old school. So starting price for this card is about 9 bones for lightly played unlimited. It quickly trickles up after that. There is quite a few on the market here. These are mostly 1 stack, except for these 2 ofs. 5 pages on the market, and just keeps on going up, and then the first edition print that we see here is a whopping 26 bones. Very impressive for Don Zaluk, and then just kind of trickles up into the 30s after that. So this card is just holding insane value. I actually just sold an unlimited one not that long ago. I don't remember. I think I sold it for like 7 or 8 or something. I can't remember, but always loved this card, and this is the, you know, the best rarity in my personal opinion. Being, you know, the OG print, and just, you know, being super ancient. There also is some other cool prints, more specifically probably, I wouldn't really much care for any of these, but the Gold Series 2008, it was going for about 5 bones. It looks like it's decreased a little bit in price value. I sold one of these as well. I sold the original Ultra Unlimited and one of these, Gold Series 2008. It seems like nowadays here in 2020, Gold Series 2008, 2009 is not very abundant on the market. They're kind of like not, there's just not a lot. There's not a lot of them, especially for the more popular cards, like Crush Card Virus, and it's the only one that's really coming to mind right now. But there's just really not a lot in abundance. And 2008, 2009 Gold Series were just like beautiful, extremely aesthetically pleasing, and they just really did Gold Series right the first 2 sets. And this is amazing. There's hardly any on the market here. 4 stack leading the pack, and it's going all the way up to about 10 bones. Standing first price here is about 5 for this one here. So pretty good value on that if you guys want to sell those. Next is going to be I'm going to butcher this name. Anyway, this card, this old school Ultimate card, donning out a Photon Shockwave. Really amazing set. We got windups and a whole bunch of cool stuff from this set. I love Dark Worlds. Dark World is going to forever be... Dark World and Anti-Meta is forever going to be like my first loves. When I came back in the game in 2012 after high school, these were the decks that I ran. I've been running them in and out of all the metas since, and they're some of my all-time favorite builds. And this is kind of just an old school Ultimate Rare that no one really likes because its effect was kind of just like jank. It's not really good, but it's just an old school Ultimate Rare that is holding relatively good value. Unlimiteds are really not. They're like, you know, about 4 bones, but even the first editions too. So, I mean, I don't know. No one plays this card. I don't really say, like, I'm a huge Dark World fan, and I don't play this card, but it's just like, it's an Ultimate Rare card. It's an old Ultimate Rare card, and it's kind of like when you really get into a deck card, you want to have like a collection of like all the stuff in the highest rarity, and maybe the scope will go up, maybe it won't. I mean, there's one first edition here for about 5 bones, one here, 4 pages on the market, but I mean, it's kind of the same with Rainbow, I guess, is that how it's pronounced? This has really cool, they all have really cool artwork. This is significantly more expensive. The starting price for this for Unlimiteds is already up to 13 bones, and it quickly jumps to 20 for first editions, and then it literally goes to 30 and then 100. Only 1 page on the market here, so that is just insane exponential increase in value there. So if you have your Rainbows first editions near mints, you have some really good money, especially when these start to dwindle, whoever's picking these up, because again, this is just not really a card people play, but it's just an old school Ultimate Rare, and it just, you know, it goes with part of the collection. Next is going to be Wind Up Rabbit, again from Photon Shockwave. This is going to be the original OG print secret rare. There's just something about this card. I really like the artwork, really great deep full secret rare foiling in this card. And I don't really know how to say it, what else to say besides I really like this card, I really believe in this card, and I think it's pretty undervalued. Well, the first editions have jumped up a lot, actually. It looks like they've been torn up pretty bad on the market, only 2 pages. It used to not be like this the last time I reviewed it, but Unlimited, just a couple bones, jumps all the way up to about almost 12 bones for the first editions, and then trickles up after that. So never mind, Wind Up Rabbit is pretty good value, so if you have it, sell it, maybe keep it. I don't think it's going to really go up. I don't really see why until we at least get Carrier back and some of the other stuff unlocked. But Windups is just a really fun deck and really great memories behind that deck. Next is going to be the Ultimate Rare version of Blue Eyes White Dragon, dawning from starter deck Kaiba Reloaded. So I kind of have a crusade going on with what I call Gen 1, 2, and 3 of the starter decks. 1 obviously being the OG starter deck Kaiba Yugi, Blue Eyes and Dark Magicians from 2002. I believe that was the year. And then the Reloaded series. No, not the Reloaded. The Evolution series, which is Gen 2 with the Supers, Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. First edition is exclusively always. And same with this. First edition is exclusively for the Reloaded, which I consider Gen 3. But even the Unlimiteds alone here are it looks like they've decreased a little bit. The last time I think I remember reviewing this, they were about 5 or so. But you don't, for this card, I mean, this is the, as of right now, this is the only Ultimate Rare version we have of Blue Eyes. Of course, Blue Eyes is huge for the anime, huge fanboy. There's a whole deck archetype behind it, just the same as Dark Magician. It's the main, to-go-to card for Kaiba and all that stuff. And anyway, so yeah, not much change in the Unlimiteds. And then the last time I checked, yeah, it looks like the first editions are stabilizing at around 11-10. So I've invested in several of these myself. Again, I really try to get the word out that I really think that this is a really good investment. I was picking up the first editions when they were 5 several years ago. I started building my inventory for this card. Same with Dark Magician as well. Dark Magician was a little bit more cheaper. I was buying those for around 3-4. But they're averaging out to about 11 plus now, so I definitely think there's room for these to grow. If you do invest in this, again, exclusively go for the first editions because it's going to be for collector's value. So Destiny Hero Malicious, this came off the list here in September, and this is the OG print. I know that there is a secret rare, which would be technically higher rarity, but I believe that this was the original print, which holds some pretty good value on its own merit alone. And this went to 3, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall the list correctly. And I sold a couple of these as well, and they used to be about 15, so they've been maybe a little flooded, replenished on the market because it's condensed down to about 12 now for first edition. So just kind of an update for that card. Next is going to be Elemental Hero Stratos. So there is an Ultimate version of this that came out of one of the OTS packs, which is holding a really fat price point. It looks very, very gorgeous. Of course, this is like the king of the crop for hero players right here. It was banned for so long, and then everyone got super excited when it got lifted. I believe it was like the beginning of 2019 or at the end of 2018. 2018 when it got lifted off the list. Anyway, this is and there's 2 Shonen Jump versions. So this is this version, and it's relatively cheap. It's about $4. I think there's definitely room for this one to grow. It quickly jumps to about 7 after that. 5 pages on the market. Just really quick want to take a look at the different versions because there's so many different versions. Like there's a dual terminal. There's 2 different jump promos. Of course, there's the OTS 9 Ultimate Rare, which just looks super gorgeous. It's either between 70 and 90 here on the market price. There's this common that is worth money for some reason because it's a promo prize card or something. But yeah, I think it's really silly when they make prize cards that are just so low rarity of common. But anyway, so here's one of the jumps. This one's significantly more for some reason, and this one maybe it's older. And then there's the Dual Terminal 3 Rare, which this out of all these, I think the best investment it is the Dual Terminal. Well, of course the Ultimate Rare, but that's top dollar. It's really, really expensive. But a more affordable, healthier alternative, I believe, would be the DT3. It is a rare, so it's not just a common, and it looks great. I'm a huge fan of dual terminal. Konami is no longer manufacturing dual terminal, and they haven't announced of picking it back up or anything. And I think it's safe to say it's a fan favorite rarity. No one really complains about dual terminal. It's really, really great. So it's a little expensive. It's about 7 bones, and it kind of trickles up after that. Only 2 pages, not really a whole bunch of fat stacks besides this 5 stack here. But this is a really, really nice rarity of Stratos. All right, so next is going to be Neos Wiseman. Again, this is another one of those, well, I guess it's not a solo print. There's a couple other versions here. Sorry, what's this? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I made a mistake here. I don't know why. I apologize. This is not a solo print. Obviously, there's more versions of this. I don't know why I thought that was a solo print. So that was my mistake on that. This as well is also not a solo print. But anyway, for some reason, I guess because maybe it's, again, Crossroads of Chaos. This was a really great powerhouse set. And, this is the high rarity of Secret Rare. And it's, has something to do with Elemental Hero correlated. Anyway, unlimited starting price start is 20 bones. And then for the first editions is when this card gets really crazy. You gotta love hero players and their crazy first edition cards. So 20 bones for the unlimiteds. And then again, those are for lightly played. Well, here's one for 20 bones. Anyway, but the first editions are really, really expensive here. You can see the first edition here is going to be on the 4th page, second to last, and it starts at a whopping 100 bones. So there's just crazy value in these old first edition hero cards. So if you have a first edition, like, congratulations. I had two of these unlimited that I actually pulled from a couple of my special edition boxes way back in 2016. I invested in some of those off of eBay when I was in Korea, but they're not first edition, so they're only 20 bones, so not really a big deal. Again, just big emphasis on investing in first edition. Next is going to be Exiled Force. More specifically, the Hobby League 4 Parallel Ultra. I actually just sold one of these. I think I sold it for about 5 bones. It seems like of the last, well, really pretty much this year, 2020, the majority of the Hobby League cards have been going up, and I've always thought these are really gorgeous cards. Some of my favorite, one of my favorites, actually, Graceful Charity. That's probably got to be one of my all-time favorite cards. There's another card too. Oh, and Swords of Revealing Light. Swords of Revealing Light and Graceful Charity just look amazing in Parallel Ultra. And these were produced by like Upper Deck or something. They were not produced by Konami. They were like contracted out or something, so they're a little bit thicker and they really have a bad effect of tending to bow. But besides that, they're very, very gorgeous. And this is going for about 7 bones, quickly jumps up to 8, and there's only 2 pages on the market. All these are 1 stack, so there's just really not a lot on the market. And this is just a really awesome old school Generation 1, just awesome card. Back in the day, it was a quick 1-for-1. And warrior decks warrior decks have always been really predominant, but especially back in the day, like Legacy of Darkness, that was a huge warrior set. And of course, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the original OG print as a super rare, more specifically for the first editions. And again, like this, besides just being a really awesome like old school card, it's definitely well on its way, in my personal opinion, to the collector's market on just age alone and just the history of this card being such a well-needed card back in like the first couple of years of the game. And first edition here is going to be about 6 bones, and then we got a near mint here for about 11 and 11 here. So there it is, Exiled Force, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty awesome card. Next is going to be Great Shogun Shien. This is going to be the highest rarity as an ultimate rare. There is also super rare versions from the same set, Strike and Neos. It's a pretty cool set. I think the booster pack was pink, if I'm not mistaken, which was pretty cool, just like Magician's Force. But this is the highest rarity as an ultimate rare, and the unlimiteds here, starting price is pretty incredible. It starts out at 35 bones, and then the first editions we get here start at 40. There's only 3 pages here on the market, and then when we get to first edition over here, jumps all the way up to 74. So that's pretty incredible, and just continues to increase after that. Again, I think this card is right up there with the Synchro Shield. I don't know why a lot of people don't run this. I personally like to at least run one copy of this when I pilot Six Samurais, because I think this has amazing artwork. Of course, this is a really great rarity, and this is just a really great old school card. I personally prefer the secret rares. You know, if I had the first editions, that would be really, really great, but you know, they're really expensive. So I would personally run the secret rares, which, you know, would be a healthier alternative for a more affordable approach for this card. Next is going to be Magician of Faith. I wanted to talk more specifically about the ultra rare from Duelist Saga, which is really great. Duelist Saga on its own merit alone, you know, it has that special ultra rare foiling that was exclusively to Duelist Saga. Konami has not manufactured that rarity, and it's very unique on its own merit alone. And it's holding pretty good collector value on that, based on that alone, in my personal opinion. Of course, we have the old school Super Rare Champion Pack 2, which is like ungodly expensive because it's just a, you know, crazy collector's card. There was another ultra rare that was released from Speed Duel stuff. I don't know anything about Speed Duel stuff. There's sporadic cards that come out that have pretty good value that I would just sell as fast as possible, but then again, that's just me. I've never been into Speed Duel stuff, and I haven't really educated myself on that part of the game. What I would also not discredit would be the original OG print as a rare donning out of Metal Raiders. More specifically for the first editions, you're really not going to see much of any value here for the Unlimiteds. 5 pages on the market here, but when you get to, again, the first editions, there is a significant price increase, which I think is pretty incredible. This card was banned for the longest time. Again, this is a super ancient card, and I still love this card a lot. I mean, it's a level 1, it's a light, it's a spellcaster, and you get to recycle any of your Magic cards. Really cool artwork too, and really just brings me back to like the old school days of like Cookie Cutter Chaos and all that great stuff, Yada Locks, and just that infamous format back in the day. And first editions, this is incredible. The first editions that we see here go all the way up to 40 bones. So again, this just reiterates why you always want to go first edition, because the price points are just ridiculous. The exponential growth between first edition and Unlimited is that you're always going to just have such a higher value of return when you go in first editions, and this is a perfect example of that. Now, I know that, again, Metal Raiders was the second core set that we got released here in the TCG, and it's extremely old, so, you know, good luck trying to hunt down some first edition prints. But I mean, even if you can be lucky enough to get a lightly played, I would love to have a copy myself, because this is just an all-around great card, and it's amazing that it's unbanned again. I love that we have this card, and I'm pretty sure it's at 3 as well, if I'm not mistaken. So next is going to be another old school Generation 1 card. It's going to be Witch of the Black Forest, and we saw, sadly enough, an ultra rare reprint of Lights of Revenge. I actually invested very heavily in this because it was the first holo foil that we've ever had manufactured here in the TCG, and I was really excited about that. To my understanding, I'm pretty sure this card is still banned, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's still on the list. But another thing I wanted to check out was the original rares from Metal Raiders. This is nowhere near as expensive as Magician of Faith for the first editions, but if I remember correctly, the first editions here are still going for a pretty good price point here. Again, Unlimiteds are really not going to be much of any significance. There's about 5 pages here on the market, and the first editions that we're going to see is going to be on the 5th page. And starting price for this is about 7, and then it quickly jumps to 20, and then 27, and 30. So there's really, for these just Gen 1 first edition rare cards, and back in the day, you understand, rares were a pretty big deal, because secret rares were like, that was the ceiling. There wasn't ghost rares, there wasn't ultimate rares, there wasn't starlight rares. None of that stuff existed in Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! So this was a really big deal back in the day, and this is just an awesome old school band card that I think is really cool. Awesome artwork too. Next is going to be Serpent Knight Dragon. This is going to be the original print secret rares dawning from Magic Ruler, not Spell Ruler. I personally do all my investments from Magic Ruler. There was a shorter run on Spell Ruler, but they didn't really have first edition runs for Spell Ruler, if I'm not mistaken. And that's why I always just go 1, because I like having the Magic stamp. It's very, you know, it's like Gen 1 history, kind of like a piece of history on the cards for having the Magic stamps, which is, you know, only going to be from the Magic set, not the Spell Ruler. And Again, like back in like Gen 1, like Secret Rare was the season that was as high as we can go. All around just a terrible card, really cool artwork, but just an awesome old school Gen 1 Secret Rare. And again, unlimiteds are really not that much. They're just about like 4, and then go to like 8, 10. There's 4 pages on the market, but when we get to the first editions, again, that's when we see a pretty good price increase. The first edition here we're going to see is going to be about 30, then quickly jumps to 45, and then just kind of slowly trickles up after that. So really great, definitely already in the collector's market. And the final card that I wanted to showcase here is going to be Destroyosaurus. This is the ultimate version out of Force of the Breaker. Not really significant meta-wise, really cool artwork, just an old school ultimate rare that I kind of wanted to use just to close down this showcasing here. The first editions we're going to get here is going to be 6 unlimiteds, about 5, and then it goes all the way up to 13, and there's only 1 page on the market here, and it bottoms out at 30. So it was just kind of one of those random ultimate rares that I found reviewing stuff. I like, you know, old school ultimate rares you come across all the time. They look really nice. I think it's safe to say majority of the player base really likes ultimate rare stuff, and of course there's a secret rare version here as well. So that's all I have for you guys today. I am working on a current project. I have contracted out a web designer to start a web page, so next couple weeks I'm going to hopefully have that up and running, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's kind of like a mid-range investment that I have going on here, so there's going to be more information I have for you guys later on to push out for that. So really excited about that. So more to come on that. I hope you guys are making some amazing Yu-Gi-Oh investments yourself. Yu-Gi-Oh has been part of my life for 2 decades. It's one of my all-time favorite hobbies. I think there's a lot of great things that this game brings to the table. The friendship, the investment values. It's just a real all-around great time. I think it's extremely important for everyone to have hobbies and have an outlet, and just to have things that they enjoy in general. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Please stay safe out there. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.